The most disrespected person in America is the black woman.
The systemic suppression of black passion, facilitated by the nice nasty framework under the guise of decorum.
The term nice nasty, what is it? Nice nasty is a deceptive behavior pattern where someone outwardly acts friendly and pleasant while simultaneously being unkind, malicious, or even hostile. Other ways to describe it include politely cruel, smarmy, sycophantic, catty, or insincere politeness. This nice nasty tactic has often been used in the performance of power, especially by those who wield it with polished restraint. It's the calm condescension disguised as civility. It's the smile that precedes the slap, the patronizing tone that cloaks control and professionalism. In courtrooms, legislative chambers, and police encounters, nice nasty has long been used to dismiss, deflect, and dehumanize. It reframes valid grievances as aggression. It recasts truth as impropriety. It's how calls for justice are rendered unpalatable, not because they're wrong, but because they're uncomfortable. This tactic has deep roots in how people of color, especially black people, are policed, both literally and figuratively. On the streets, noncompliance becomes a justification for abuse, detainment, or arrest. A raised voice, a questioning glance, or simply standing firm becomes grounds for force, not because a law was broken, but because a norm was challenged. Our passion is often met with condescending statements like, "Why are you so angry?" or "You need to calm down."
I'm trying to get clarification. Look at calm down. Calm down. No, because this is what y'all do.
All in an effort to inflame the situation, laying the groundwork to justify a physical assault or illegal detainment, when the expectation of unchallenged obedience or submission is not achieved. And in so-called halls of decorum, the same logic plays out more subtly, but just as effectively. For generations, black people have learned to navigate this layered hostility, modulating tone, shrinking presence, tempering truth, not to be more palatable, but to survive. From enslaved people who practiced subtle resistance under the gaze of overseers, to civil rights leaders who were told their marches were too disruptive, to present-day professionals who are coached to code switch in boardrooms, this is not new. The burden of composure has always fallen heavier on the oppressed. And still, despite centuries of being told to tone it down, to wait their turn, to be respectful, black people have spoken up, pushed back, and burned bright. This is how it happens. A black woman raises her voice, not in rage, but in righteous clarity, and suddenly the air shifts. The room, long ruled by the cool, quiet tones of power, recoils. Her fire is not welcome here. For Roberts, her passion is melodramatics, her urgency a distraction. He doesn't raise his voice, he doesn't have to. Power doesn't need volume when it already owns the room. But what he truly fears isn't her tone. It's disruption, it's the breach of comfort, the rupture of decorum that forces people to listen differently. Because in a system designed to preserve itself, decorum is nothing more than a velvet glove over an iron fist. And so Crockett's truth is dismissed, not because it's false, but because it dares to burn. Labeled too loud, too emotional, too much. Chief Justice John Roberts' tone in his exchange with Representative Jasmine Crockett is a textbook display of how institutional power reframes black passion as disorder rather than dissent. His resistance isn't overt hostility, it's the epitome of nice nasty, cloaked in appeals to objectivity, discipline, and decorum. He doesn't silence her outright. He discredits her delivery. It's a tactic as old as the institution itself, policing tone to avoid addressing substance. When Crockett speaks with urgency about voter suppression, Roberts calls it theatrics. When she connects lived experience to law, he urges her to stick to legal arguments. The subtext is unmistakable. Your voice, your fire, your truth, it makes us uncomfortable, and so it must be invalid. This is how systems maintain control, by insisting that black expression conform to white norms of respectability. Roberts doesn't merely sideline Crockett's arguments, he undermines her legitimacy. Her passion is cast as a liability. His detachment, meanwhile, is framed as wisdom. But the deeper truth is this. In a system that has never been neutral, emotional detachment is not a virtue, it's a luxury. Roberts doesn't need passion because the court already bends in his direction. For Crockett, passion isn't performance, it's survival. It's what's required to be heard in a room never built for her voice. So when Roberts deems her tone unfit, he's not just critiquing her style, he's defending the gates of power. And Crockett's presence, her voice, her refusal to shrink, that's the real threat. Not because it's inappropriate, but because it's unapologetically true. Their interaction helps shed light on the deep-seated underlying contemptuous, condescending ideology that still permeates even the highest court in the land.